Hi, welcome to Draco's Go. In today's lesson for Q players, we'll be looking a bit at the opening and how to take initiative to play big moves during the game. And lastly, we'll look at a life and death situation from this real game that I happen to see online between a 10Q black and a 9Q white. So for privacy, I've hidden their names, but if you happen to be the player and you wish your name to be known, you can let me know as well. So over here, black ignored white sun and played here instead, which is quite rare, as usually it's easier to handle to respond to the sun first. And now you still have Sente. Sente means that after you play an exchange, it's still your turn, so you can take initiative to play wherever you want next. So for example, after this exchange, black can still continue to play where he wanted to play just now, here or here. If white plays here, you can just block, and now again you can take initiative to play somewhere else. So this is a joseki. So this is a bit harder to handle when white gets to continue over here. So black played here and white honey, so this is very good for white. What black should do now is to extend from this side, not this side. So when you play here, if white plays on this side, at least you can get the other side. Like this will be a pretty normal exchange. So at least you have this part and white gets this part. If white plays here, you can play this. And if white continues here or here, you can treat this group lightly and play elsewhere already. And if white plays on this side, you can continue. Maybe like that. Now the honey is not so bad because now you have 4 stones and not 2 stones. So even if white wants to squash you, you can make quite big territory over here. But now when it's a 2 stone and you get honey, this is not very good for black. For example, this is probably the best that black can do. And later, this shape is also not good for black. I'll show you why soon. So the best that black can do now is probably to extend something like this. So this move, this honey, black can play here as well. While this looks pretty good, there's actually quite a lot of holes for white to invade. For example, white can play here directly. If black plays anything on this side, white can easily honey back home, because you can't block this. Atari 2 stones connect, and white eats this stone, so white gets this whole part, and there's still gaps in black's land over here. And if black plays over here to try to block the connection, white can just extend, and now there's a gap here. If black blocks, white can just play this, and now white has a solid base and is alive inside black's territory. White can also play here first. This is to threaten a card here at p4. If black plays anywhere else, white can easily cut. If black tries to protect the card here or here, white can just create a base here. So the reason why I play this move first instead of cutting directly, let's say if we cut here first. Now white cannot block because black will eat 3 stones. So if white plays something like this, now black is probably alive here, and instead white has to worry about white's own safety over here. So if black just connects the card over here, same thing, white can extend. If black blocks here, white has a solid base below. If black plays anywhere here, white can just come out. And in fact, now black stones are in danger. So this is back to the actual game. So over here, I think it's very hard for black to take care of 2 groups at once. So probably the best black can do is to just connect here. And now the easiest way for white to handle is to get these two stones first, as this is already a big advantage for white. Though of course this is also okay. So now the vital point will be here. If black connects, you can even hane first. If black connects here, white can attack the whole black group like this. So probably the best black can do now is to run from here. Just ignore this part first, so that at least black can put pressure on these 4 white stones to try to attack them later, and also to run for the safety of his group. If white gets this, black can continue to run out and later attack this group. Though I think white will also run, and white will try to attack this group. So if black plays anywhere like over here or around here, white can always go back home like this, because black cannot block this. And you may be wondering, what if black blocks this connection, so white can't connect back, right? Then we can just cut here. If black plays here, then white can eat these stones first. White's gonna Atari here, so black plays here first. Black has to protect the cut. And now, white will eat these stones first. If black plays anywhere else, white can eat these 2 stones. If black Atari, black is in trouble here, because white can eat these 3 stones on the next move, like that. So if black tries to run, white can, there's many ways white can do this, perhaps here first, to threaten to eat these 3 stones. So if black connects, white can even play this. We have to play on this side. If you play here, black will eat white first. So we can play here, black runs. So white eats black first. Like this also, white captures black first. So usually, before we pincer both sides, this is a more common response. This is the new joseki, AI joseki. Something like this. So at least you settle one side first. Otherwise, you have to handle 2 weak groups. So there was this. So now white either plays here or here, like this, or like this. Black played here, but usually black should play here, and later there'll be some RG in the corner, for example like this. And now if black blocks, if white blocks, this is very good for black. So what usually happens here is, instead of connecting, white will let black capture this stone, so that at least white can connect all the stones like this and Atari the black's 2 stones. And now black can choose to Tenuki and play elsewhere, as black has already secured this side and gained a bit. If black runs to try to cut the 2 groups apart, now white comes back to connect. Black is in trouble because on the next move, white will eat this stone. So if black plays here, which side should white play? This side. If white plays here, black will eat white first. So again, this is common. If white plays here, black still gains something. And even though white eats this stone, later there's this continuation. Atari, white cannot run here, you connect, and white's 2 stones die first. So white will eat this, and black can Atari back. So this is the actual game. This is still good for white. Black has 2 groups that are not settled, and white has a big corner. And this group also is not settled by black. So at this point, white can consider to be more active and perhaps attack more directly from the middle, or as we said, this move. But even if white doesn't know this move, white can do something like this, or here, to put pressure on this group, and later also attack this group. So let's look at this for a moment. When you see this shape, usually the vital point is here. Let's look at a few other examples. Okay, so if you're white, over here, the vital point will be this. And this is a dead shape for black. If black plays anything like this, tries to block, you will eat the 3 stones first. Black connects. So the purpose of this move is, if black plays here, white can always connect back, so this becomes a fake eye. See, black can't play this, get eaten. If black blocks, play this, you eat black first, black connect, and now inside is a dead shape. So same for the right side. If you see this shape, so this is the carpenter square. There's actually a lot of variations and may be quite complicated. But if you're white, you don't even have to think, you just play here first. Let your opponent do the thinking and worrying. Okay, back to the actual game. Okay, so I want to highlight this move over here, c5. So white is probably afraid of some invasion. I don't know how it's safe. But anyway, white plays within his own territory. So this is kind of like a wasted move, which could be played elsewhere. For example, the biggest move now would be to attack this group. If black plays here, you can even honey. Black cannot block the honey because we have this. Atari, connect, connect. So there are many situations where we fear for the safety of our group and we want to fix it, but at the same time we know that we are wasting a move and we are not gaining any points. So when we encounter this kind of situation, there's a spectrum of ways in which people respond. So the first is to play within our own territory, which is the safest, but we don't get any points. And the riskiest one is to totally Tenuki and play elsewhere at the big spots, but yet you don't know if your group is really safe. So let's see how we can at least choose an in-between, which will ensure the safety of your group and at the same time at least you gain something instead of just playing in your own territory. For example here, white can come out first. This will definitely guarantee white's safety, right? Even if black manages to do something inside which he can't. I don't know, let's just put a stone there. You can always continue to go outside. So here's the thing, you go out first, and let's say after some move, some stuff happened, and then you can always go back and play the move that you wanted to, but you don't have to do that now. So you know that you can just go out first, and that option of safety is always available to you later. So here, when white comes out, white at least gains something compared to playing here. For example, later, this threatens black stone. White can attack this lone black stone, here or here. Let's look at some other examples now of how to play bigger moves instead of just playing in our own territory. Let's look at this side. So if you are black, let's say you are afraid of this group and you want to play here to be safe. But is that the biggest way to be safe? So look at the surrounding also. You don't have to think about how to save this part first. You can just come out first. Because no matter what white does inside, you always have the option to go out. And let's say if after you've come out, you play this move, and then you play here, and then you feel scared, you always can go back and play that move anytime. So as long as you come out first, the option remains to you, but yet you don't have to care about it first, and then at least you gain something in this moment first. So in this case, it's definitely bigger to come out first, because at the same time, you're putting pressure on this group of white stones. In fact, you can be the one to attack white instead. Now let's look at the bottom. Let's say you're white, and you're not sure whether this group is alive. So you want to play here, which yes will ensure the safety, but what's the biggest move you can play looking at the surroundings? So first, you should just come out, because no matter what black does outside, you always have the option to come back here anytime you feel scared. And if black plays anything on the inside, you can always continue to go out and your group will not die. In fact, in this case, it's very big to come out first because you are putting pressure on these two black stones. You're separating this group from this group. Now, it's not about black attacking you, it's about you attacking the black stones. Black has to come out here, somewhere here or here, and you can be the one to continue to attack black. So if let's say after you've played a couple moves and then suddenly you feel scared or you got in some trouble, you can always come back and play this move. So just look at the present moment. If it's bigger to come out, just come out first. Okay, now I need to make a disclaimer. So this doesn't mean that every single group you have, you keep jumping out into the open. I'm more of referring to cases when you're already planning to play inside your own territory and it's going to get you 0 points compared to at least coming out and having some influence on the surrounding state. So now let's look at this example. Look at the sides first. Because the sides are still open, you can still gain a lot by playing moves like this or this. Because after that, you're still threatening to take away even more land. For example, here, or after you play this side, this will be a very big move to take away all of black's land here. So, these are all possible instead of just jumping out. And now let's look at another case. So in this case, the sides are already blocked off for white. And let's say now you're worrying about the safety of this group and you're thinking about whether to play here. But this is within your own land, so you're not really getting any points. So in this case, I'll advise you, don't even have to spend time thinking about this first, because this side is open, just come out in the open first. Because let's say even if stuff happen, whatever happens, I don't know, and then you feel scared, you can always come back here later if you really need to. So the option is always available to you, but you play the bigger plays first and then see what happens. And in the event that you come out and then black tries to play within your space here, it doesn't even matter, because now that your group is out in the open, you can always continue to go out where there will be more eye space or more groups to connect to, and black cannot contain your group yet. Okay, so fast forward. At this point, I think white should just ignore this part already, because both black groups are quite alive and there are much bigger places on the rest of the board. So always remember to don't just follow your opponent locally, look at the entire board and grab the big points. So now black is still playing here, white can play here. If black still wants to play here, white can continue to grab the even bigger points. Okay, but at this point, white can respond. Because it's a Sente, means after this, white will still get initiative to play wherever he wants to play next. Because this group is not alive, black has to respond. For example, over here. But black played on this side. So what should white do now? How can white kill this group? I'll give you some time to think about it. So black has one eye here, and now there's going to be another eye here. So white has to break the eye first. If black plays here, so this is also the actual game. White has played correctly so far, but now white plays here. Where should white play instead right now? White has to play on this side, because when white plays here, black can connect back. If white plays on this side, black has no way to leave. Now black's group is dead. Okay, but white played here, so now black has a chance again. So now you're black, where would you play? In the actual game, black played here. So the problem with this is, white can start a ko. So black's group has to win the ko in order to live. How can black live without a ko? Instead of here, black can play here. If white blocks, black can make two eyes. So now there's one eye here and one eye over here. If white connects this, now you can connect back to the other group. So black is alive. So we'll end the review here for today. Let me know what was your biggest takeaway from this lesson and see you in the next video.